Alright, the wait is finally over. Christopher Nolan's Odyssey hit theaters this past weekend. I'm going to have a lot of people hate me for what I'm about to say. You know what, it's a movie review, so I gotta speak my mind. I thought that this movie was very underwhelming. I've already had dozens of people just really disagree with me on my opinion, but you know what, that's just how I felt. I was disappointed with the movie. I didn't exactly hate it, but I didn't like it either. Now, for the record, I never actually read the poem, which I heard was like 24 volumes, if I read that correctly. So in terms of like how accurate this movie was, I can't really say because I've never read it. I just know like general bits and pieces here and there. Like I'm familiar with the characters and like the general story of what it's about. So if you've actually read the material and you can compare it to the movie, that's great. So this review I'm about to do is just from like a movie standpoint. Anyway, the movie The Odyssey, it revolves around Matt Damon's character Odysseus. Now Odysseus and like his army, they go off and fight in the Trojan War, and he leaves behind his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but a lot of these Greek names, I'm gonna try my best. So after the war is over, the movie is pretty much about him and his army and their journey back home. He wants to go back home to his wife and kid, and he's trying to make sure that all of his soldiers make it back home in one piece. But that's a lot easier said than done, because along the way they encounter a lot of different monsters, they fight against the gods, they just run into a lot of obstacles trying to get back home, and it results into a lot of people dying in the process. That's essentially the major plot of the movie, is Matt Damon just trying to make it back home to his family. Now again, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I didn't like this movie. I thought it was underwhelming. So here's the first thing I didn't like. I get it that the original source material of the Odyssey was told in a non-linear way, and Christopher Nolan's movie, he actually took the same approach, and he told this entire movie in a non-linear format. Normally I wouldn't really have a problem with that, but because the movie just jumped back and forth so many times, especially during the action, I feel like it just killed the pacing of the movie overall. Technically speaking, the entire movie is a flashback, and Matt Damon is pretty much telling his entire story of what happened before and after the war. And as the movie progresses, it jumps back to the past of where Matt Damon first sets out with his army and like heads towards Troy. Now, this is just my opinion, but I thought the movie would have been a lot better if it started off with the whole Trojan horse scenario where they invade Troy and like just fight everyone, or it could have started off with some big battle scene or a big war scene. But the movie just starts off slow. We're just introduced to Tom Holland's character and Anne Hathaway's character and just building up the world that we're watching. And speaking of all the characters, besides Matt Damon's character, since he was like the main character of the movie, I didn't really care too much about anybody else in the film. Like, I didn't care about Tom Holland's character playing the son. Anne Hathaway's character playing the wife, Penelope. I thought she did a great job. Like, her acting was just so good. But everybody else, I thought they were like just misplaced. Like, for example, Zendaya.